I see y'all out there. We're going to give a few more minutes. Class doesn't actually start until 10 o'clock, but hold on. We get started with the lesson right around 10 o'clock. Thanks for joining us today. Good morning. Good morning. We had 3 students that joined. I guess they're going to come back in. Give students a few more moments to log in and join our Instagram Live Tuesday ELA lesson. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. A few more moments for other students to join in our Tuesday ELA Instagram Live lessons. waiting for the students to join in, give them a moment, a few quick morning announcements. Students, we want to thank you all for logging in and joining and participating in our Tuesday, Thursday Instagram live lessons. Okay, I see you. I see that you're ready. Make sure you are following Ms. Twyman and joining in her Monday, Wednesday lessons on Instagram Live for math. Students, we're in our fourth term. School ends on May 29th, but actually May 28th will be our last ELA lesson. So we only have 3 more weeks. The work that we do in your participation will be used to calculate your fourth term and final grades. Okay? Okay, let's get started. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to, after they read aloud of a text, define, compare, and contrast, then use a graphic organizer, the Venn diagram, to compare and contrast. This lesson is attached to the Common Core State Standard, ELA RI 6.4, which states, compare and contrast the most important points and key details presented in 2 texts on the same topic. I want to thank everybody for joining in. I made a few quick announcements. One of the announcements was, students, your participation is very important as we are in the fourth term. Fourth term will end on May 28th, which means our last ELA lesson will be on May the 28th. We only have 3 more weeks in this term. So let's participate, attend, participate, get this work done so we can finish the year off very strong. Students, please contact your classmates and encourage them to follow myself and Ms. Twyman and join into these lessons and get this last term finished. All right? Just went over our lesson, just went over the standard. Students, we have a quick do now. When you complete your do now, you can use the Venn diagram, or you can write it on a sheet of paper. If you write it on a sheet of paper, you can take a picture and direct message the image to Miss Hardy or myself. Remember, you will be given live school points from Miss Green for participation, and attendance will be taken by Miss Hardy. So students, the do now. How do they compare? Are the same? How do they contrast? Are different? You can just shoot responses. If a student wants to go live, come on, join in live with me, and we can discuss, compare, and contrast this image with you live. So one of you, come on, let's come on in. How about that Sean? Send me an Instagram request to go live. We can compare and contrast this. Everybody else in the class can hear. Then we can go on with the lesson. Come on, somebody come on and go live. Extra live school points for the brave soul that come on and go live with me. Somebody's going to come on and send me a request to go live. Okay, there you go. Thank you. So students who just logged in, we're going to do a quick do now. It's how do they compare? Are the same? How do they contrast? Hold on for a second. I got a live request coming in. He's coming in now. Hey, what's up? Hey.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good. Trying something out of my closet. But they're both closed.
it's good to get responses from you, but it's even better to see your face and hear your voice.
Oh.
How the twins doing?
Uh, in the room. Well, they're in the living room doing Zoom.
Oh, okay, they're doing their lessons. That's good. Okay. So let's go to the do now. How do they compare are the same and how do they contrast are different? So let's go
They got
first.
different. Oh.
Let's go first.
Uh,
Do compare. How do they compare?
they're both balls,
Okay.
and they
Anything
have
else?
different patterns.
Can you go back to compare? How else do they compare?
Uh, I don't know.
Think about it. How do
They're
they
both
compare?
round.
They good. They both are round. Good. How else do they compare? Look at them. How else do they compare? How else are they the same?
They both bounce.
They both bounce. Yep. Anything else?
Uh,
Look at them.
I don't think there's anything else.
Look at them. If anybody else, any other student wants to give our live students, give our
I
live
mean, they
students,
both got patterns.
are the patterns the same?
No.
So then that means that the patterns do what? If they're not the same, they are different, which means what's another word? Our vocabulary
They
word for difference. They contrast. Okay. A student said they both have black on them. That's true. They do. You see the black now?
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
I just said how they compare. You got to look at it and think about all ways they compare. Good answer from Y and Z cell. All right. Anything else? How they compare?
Uh, nah, I don't think
You
so.
sure? The student was giving you a hint when he said they both have black.
I,
Look at the black stripes. They both got black stripes. They're different, but they both have these black stripes in them. How else do they compare? Where can you play? Where can you use these
oh,
balls?
I mean, they both have lines.
They both have lines. Good. Where do you use them?
Oh, you use them on the field and on the court, but no, I guess that's different.
But can you play a basketball on the court?
Yeah, can't
Can
play
you?
soccer on a court though.
But where can you play soccer?
On the field,
And where are fields?
outside,
Where can you play basketball?
outside. Oh, you can. Oh, you can play
Of
with
course.
them both outside,
Yep. And where else can you? And you can also play basketball. Where else?
inside a building.
There you go. So now let's go to contrast. Good job. How do they contrast? How are they different?
They're different sizes.
Right? You can see they're different sizes. Okay. How else are they different?
They got different
Somebody-
patterns.
They have different patterns. Another student can type in their response or request to go live and we can switch students. How else do they contrast? How else are they different?
Uh, got to play with them in different places.
Give me an example.
Alright. Play with the basketball on the court. Play with the soccer ball on the field.
Okay. And we know most fields are outside. Okay. How else are they different?
Did I already say they have different patterns? Or am I tripping?
Somebody just texted in and said, yes, they're different colors. One's orange and one is black and white. That was obvious. That may have been too obvious. But a student just text back and said they have different colors. Good, they have different colors. Okay. So when we compare and contrast, sometimes we look for details that may not be so obvious, like playing basketball inside and playing with a soccer ball outside. But then we actually overlook the things that are blatantly obvious in our face, which they're different colors. Okay? There you go. That's how, when we compare and contrast, I want you to just think deeper than just what you see. I want you to think about how you can use it, how it's played, who plays it. That's what we can do when we compare and contrast. It's just these two different balls. They both used for different things. They both round. They have different sizes. Okay, good job. Let's go with it. Then we're gonna go into our text.
I can go now. Oh shh.
Yeah, if you want to come back in, you can come back in. Try to get somebody else to come back in. All right, this is just a quick review of the notes. Students, remember, you can always log back in to the Instagram live feed and review the notes. The student who just jumped in live, man, that was great work. I like that. Can we get somebody else to jump in and participate live? Come on, somebody else, come on in. Compare and contrast, vocabulary, same and different. Compare, tells what is the same about two or more objects, two or more things. That's compare. We already compared the apples and oranges. I'm not going to review this, but I'll just show it. So if someone wants to review the lesson and take notes, they can. Contrast, tell what is different about two or more things. This is how apples and oranges contrast. I'm not going to go over it. Students can log back in. This is just a quick review. Students can log back in and review the notes. Venn diagram is the graphic organizer that we use. And this is what it looks like when you're doing compare and contrast. This helps you organize your thoughts, and you can use your Venn diagram to write a summary. Review, vocabulary. Compare means the same. Contrast means different. Organize ideas using a Venn diagram. The Venn diagram is the name of the graphic organizer that we're going to use. Some people call it the double bubble. All right. Venn diagram or the double bubble. This is the text that we're going to use to compare and contrast. So students, at this point, you can make a double bubble on a piece of paper, or you can just use a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, and just write what you want to write, how you're going to organize your thoughts. But the Venn diagram is a great way to organize your thoughts with compare and contrast. The Venn diagram or the double bubble. See, another student just joined in. Thanks for joining in. Students, I know you change your Instagram names a lot. Remember, if you change your name, I want you to send your name to Miss Green and Miss Hardy with your new Instagram name and your name so we can keep track of attendance and award live school points. All right? So, good morning. So when we get started, this is our text, airplanes and rockets. So just from the name of our text, we know we're going to be comparing and contrasting airplanes and rockets. So on my Venn diagram, I'm going to write airplanes and rockets on either side of the double bubble, because this side is going to show how airplanes are different from rockets, and the middle part shows how they're the same. So if students are going to be taking notes and doing the work, I'll give a few seconds for them to get their paper and their graphic organizer or their sheet of paper together. Do we have a volunteer for someone to come in and join us live? We already had one student come in. And thanks for your participation. We have another student that wants to come in and join live. Thank you for the student who just joined in. Thank you for joining in. Can we get somebody to join live? Somebody want to come in and join the live lesson and give live answers? Come on, baby Gil, join us live. We already had one student join live. Anybody want to come in and join live? I see a response from the students that said that they both fly. Remember that answers are text dependent. So when we start reading the text, we're gonna get some answers. All right. All right. Airplanes and rockets. So we know we already started getting organized because we have our Venn diagram with airplanes and rockets. So we know that we're comparing and contrasting airplanes and rockets. All right. Rockets and airplanes carry people and things. Rockets travel in space. Airplanes travel across Earth. So you're not going to join in, baby Gil. It's okay. You don't have to join in. But if someone wants to join in our Instagram live, join in live with me, and we can go over the lesson. Come on, somebody, come on and jump in Instagram live. We have several students. We already had one student join in. If the student want to join back in and walk through the graphic organizer with me, come on back in. So we know we're comparing and contrasting airplanes and rockets. Based on what the text says so far, rockets and airplanes carry people and things. So when we see the word "and," we know that means both. That means that they're compared. It's the same. So airplanes and rockets carry people and things. So in our graphic organizer, in the spot where it's the same, we're going to write carry people. Carry people. All right. Airplanes travel across Earth. Pilots fly airplanes. Airplanes and rockets both use fuel and oxygen to fly. Okay? This sentence here I can get it to highlight. Airplanes and rockets both use oxygen and fuel to fly. The graphic organizer that we're using is called the Venn diagram or the double bubble. This is our graphic organizer. So if you missed part of the lesson, you can log back in for the next 24 hours and watch the Instagram live. So that's what we're using. It's called a Venn diagram or the double bubble. That's the graphic organizer we're using. All right. So this sentence, airplanes and rockets both use fuel and oxygen to fly. That statement, is that a compare statement or a contrast statement? And tell me why. The statement that I have, the sentence that I have highlighted, airplanes and rockets both use fuel and oxygen to fly. Can somebody respond or go live and tell me if that statement is a compare statement or a contrast statement and tell me why? I'll wait for students to respond. That is correct. That is a compare statement. Airplanes and. The word and both are those kind of clue words to let you know that we are comparing. Good. Somebody else texted in and said compare. Airplanes and rockets both use fuel and oxygen to fly. So on our Venn diagram, we will write oxygen to fly right here on the part of the Venn diagram or double bubble where they overlap, which is the same. So student, you should be filling out your Venn diagram. Okay? As we keep reading, airplanes travel on the ground before lifting off. Airplane engines burn fuel combined with oxygen from the atmosphere or the air or the layers of air around Earth to fly. Where Earth's atmosphere ends is called outer space. Airplanes cannot fly into outer space. In outer space, there is no oxygen in the atmosphere to mix with the fuel. So students, I want you to go back, look at the first paragraph, read it, read the first paragraph, decide what information from this paragraph can be used to fill in a Venn diagram to compare and contrast. Compare and contrast it on your Venn diagram. You can send your responses to myself or Ms. Hardy. You can take a picture of your Venn diagram and send it. But students, you're going to be doing this work. I want you to start thinking about what compares and what contrasts, and start filling out your Venn diagrams. We did the first part together. Airplanes travel on the ground before lifting off. Airplane engines burn fuel combined with oxygen from the atmosphere or the layers of air around Earth to fly. Where Earth's atmosphere ends is called outer space. Airplanes cannot fly into outer space. In outer space, there is no oxygen in the atmosphere to mix with fuel. Unlike airplanes, rockets the part that I have highlighted, there's a couple of clue words. And somebody to tell me, can somebody send me a message from the highlighted part thinking, are we going to compare or contrast? I wait for responses from students. If a student wants to join the lesson live, they can send me a request and they can join live. Yes. Got somebody else joined in. Students, I want to thank you for joining in and your participation. Like I said earlier, we have 3 weeks, about 3 weeks left in the term. School ends on May 29th. Let's log in, get these lessons done, and get these fourth term grades up. Okay? So like the student just said, unlike means we're starting to contrast. When we contrast, the information goes on the outside of the Venn diagram or double bubble, which is our graphic organizer we're using for this comprehension skill. Okay? Unlike airplanes, rockets can also fly into outer space. Rockets use fuel in their own supply of oxygen. They blast straight up into space. Rockets can fly without pilots. Rocket trips can last for days. Airplane trips can last for a few minutes or many hours. It all depends on where they are flying. So students, what you're going to be tasked to do is use your Venn diagram, go back to the text, and compare and contrast as much as you can from the text using your Venn diagram, airplanes and rockets. And in the middle of the double bubble is the information that is the same. I'll give a few minutes for students to complete their Venn diagram and they can send responses. Students, when you complete your Venn diagram, you can use your phone, take a picture of it, send a picture of the completed Venn diagram to Miss Hardy or to myself, and we'll grade it and give you feedback. Or if you don't want to use the double bubble, you can use a piece of paper. At the top of the paper, you can write you can use a piece of paper, airplanes, rockets on one side, airplanes on one side, and both in the middle. And you can just write about airplanes, write about rockets, and write about both. And you can take a picture and submit this to myself or Miss Hardy for grading. And if someone need me to reread the text or they can't see it, just let me know. I'm trying to get more text onto the paper. So at this point, students, you should be working on your Venn diagram, comparing and contrasting airplanes and rockets. And when I'll give a few more minutes, and students, you can take turns coming on live and giving your responses. We'll give you credit for your live responses. You'll actually get extra credit for coming on live and giving your responses. So at this point, you should be using the text to complete your Venn diagram. Once you complete your Venn diagram, submit it to myself or Miss Hardy, or you can come on and go live and we can discuss your answers live. In about 3 minutes, I would love for a student to come on live. We got students that want to join live and share out their responses. We give 2 more minutes for students to finish up. Baby Gil, you're going to come live and share out your responses, share out your answers. Come on, Baby Gil. Come on, send me a request to go live. Okay, you sure? Okay, come on and go live with me. Share out your answers. And guess what? I'll bring McDonald's lunch to you. Let's go. Just DM me. Let me know what you want for lunch. I'll knock at your door, have it delivered. Come on and go live with me and share out your responses. McDonald's lunch on me. Got somebody that want to come live. Hold on.
Good morning.
Hey, Kayvon. Welcome to the live lesson. So have you completed your Venn diagram when you compare and contrast airplanes and rockets?
No, because I woke up at 10:15 and I hopped straight on.
Oh, okay. So you have a question?
Can you read it over to me?
Read the entire text? Are you
Yes,
are you
please.
confused? You confused on what we're doing, or you need me to? I'm
I'm
not clear what you
confused
want me
what
to
we're
do.
doing.
Okay, so Venn diagram is our graphic organizer. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah,
Okay, so on a piece of paper, you can put like 2 cups and make circles. But when you make your circles, make sure your cups interlock in the middle. Or I keep erasing it. You can use a piece of paper and write at the top. You can write airplanes and put both in the middle and write rockets. And you're going to take the information from the text and you're going to fill out your Venn diagram or your double bubble. Okay? So as we read, we're going to talk about airplanes. Okay?
all right.
When we read, it said rockets and airplanes carry people and things. So in our Venn diagram, because it said, and we know that that's how they compare. Hold on for a second. Okay? So we know we're comparing and contrasting airplanes and rockets. So when we start reading, it said rockets and airplanes carry people and things. You see it? So
Yeah,
when we see the word and that word and, is that a clue word to let you know you're going to compare or contrast?
compare.
Compare. So on our Venn diagram, the same is compared. So I wrote carry people. So I know that airplanes carry people, and I know rockets carry people. Okay? Then we kept reading. It said rockets travel in space. Okay? You see it? You see it, Kayvon?
Yeah,
Rockets travel in space. Airplanes travel across Earth. Let's just look at those two sentences. I want you to tell me on the Venn diagram, how would you put that data to put that information we just read? It says airplanes travel on the. It said rockets travel in
Contrast.
contrast. So rockets travel in space. Where would I write that on my Venn diagram?
Rock in the rocket space.
And what am I going to write?
Rockets fly in space.
Travel.
Travel.
Travel in space. Remember, I'm
And
answering.
airplanes travel across Earth.
And where am I going to write that?
In the airplane section.
Good job. So back to my Venn diagram, my double bubble. I know that airplanes traveled across Earth, rockets travel in space. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's keep reading. Pilots fly airplanes. Airplanes and rockets both use fuel and oxygen to fly. Okay? Pilots fly airplanes. Based on that information, where would you put that on the Venn diagram? Would you put it under just airplanes? Would you put it under rockets? Or would you put it in the middle where it says the same or both?
So they both have something. They both have people to fly it.
So based on what the text just said, remember we're not gonna add anything in, not gonna take anything out. We're just gonna go by what the text said. The text says pilots fly airplanes. So far, what is the only information we know about pilots?
they fly airplanes.
So far, that's all we know. So far, right?
Yeah.
So on the Venn diagram, where we're going to put pilots?
Planes.
There you go. Planes. Okay, let's keep reading. Airplanes and rockets both use fuel and oxygen to fly. Do you see any clue words in that sentence that we can use to determine if we're going to compare or contrast?
It's compared because it's saying and.
And that's a clue word here. Do you see another clue word that could possibly give us indication it is to compare? In this statement here. You see airplanes and rockets both use fuel and oxygen to fly.
There it is. They
What
both
is it?
use fuel and oxygen.
So what's the word?
Same. It goes in the same spot.
What word am I using? What clue word from this sentence? You say and what's another clue word to let me know we're going to compare?
They both use.
The word both. There you go. So when we see those two words, and it won't let me, and both, those are clue words that let you know that you're going to compare. And on our Venn diagram, where are we going to put it?
In the same.
In the box that says the same. Good, Kayvon. And what are we going to write in that box, in that space?
They both use fuel and oxygen.
Fuel and oxygen. Okay. Good, Kayvon. Okay. Kayvon,
Yes.
I'm going to leave this projected, okay, because we're getting low on time. I got a few more announcements. I'm going to leave this projected. When we come back on Thursday, I want you to have compared and contrast the next two paragraphs, okay?
All right.
These two. I want you to compare and contrast those. I want all the students to compare and contrast for homework these next two statements and finish filling out your Venn diagram. And when we come back, we're going to go over the Venn diagram. Okay, Kayvon, thank you for participating on live.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, students. So that's your homework. I'm going to leave this projected so you can have access to the rest of the text. I want you to finish your Venn diagram, comparing, contrasting the rest of the passage. You can direct message myself or Ms. Hardy. If you have any questions, you can direct message your answers to myself and Ms. Hardy. You can finish the Venn diagram, take a picture, send it to myself and Ms. Hardy. I want to thank everybody for participating in our Instagram live lesson. Students, remember, we are in fourth term, the last quarter of the school year. It is important that you log into the Instagram live Tuesday, Thursday lessons, participate. You get extra credit for going live. Remember, we're in fourth term. The school year is coming to an end. It ends on May 28th. We have, after this week, our Thursday lesson, we have 3 more weeks, and that will be it. School will be over. So it is very important that you participate. You come in on time, you participate. Remember, you will get extra points for your grade if you go live and participate. So we have 2 students that went live. So Ms. Hardy is going to give extra live school points. I'm going to give extra live school points. And Ms. Green is going to give extra live school points. Students, again, thank you for your participation. We'll see you on Thursday. Don't forget your homework, fill out your graphic organizer, and everybody have a nice, safe day. Thank you.